Mike Jones here with Ken's. It's a brand new show. You're gonna love it. Let's get inside and check it all out.
Ken's audio video. Ken's service what we sell. Little Georgia's only in-store personnel. Little Georgia's #1 sight and sound source. Go to Ken's.
All right, when we get to come in and do a surround sound or a theater in a living room where you don't have a separate theater like these big theaters that we get to do, it's a challenge. As you can already hear, right now we're unfurnished and this house is brand new, but I got to come do our stuff first. And you hear the echo, right? You have a lot of surfaces. They're all hard surfaces, so sound bouncing all over the place. Naturally, when we speak, our voice bounces a minimum of 7 times before it lays to rest. So you can imagine every word you're saying bouncing 7 times. That's where from what we hear. Now that we're past that, but this is Sony's 65-inch 4K, and let me tell you about picture quality. Look at this scene right here. This is a shocker. Check this out. Look at that leaf that hit the camera when that fell. That is insane to me how good the quality is. Now, 4K, for folks that haven't been watching the show, this has 4,000 lines of resolution and 8 million pixels. If you're a techie, you're going, what on earth? And if you're not a techie, you're going, what on earth? With the question mark bar at the end of it. So this is as good as it gets. It will give you images, as you can tell, better clarity. It does great with reflective glare, no issues there. And it's cool. Now, they make 2 versions of this, with or without speakers. This is the obvious one without speakers because if you look up here, these are the Klipsch R5800. You're probably seeing a cutaway before and after when we cut these in. But these new magnetic grills are seamless. They are absolutely beautiful, and sound quality is incredible. It's the best speaker they make that is flush mount. Let me let you hear some sound. Hold on, ready? Check this out. Crazy clarity. That is insane. That is amazing. Now, this is a 5-1 surround, so what that means to you is I have speakers in the back. They're the same speaker, and the reason we had to mount them so high is because we ran out of access in these walls. So my little genius teams came in here, and what we did is we put in the 5800, and the way that speaker does is I can turn the speaker inside even though it stays flat with the wall, which is nice. And if they choose to paint those speakers the same color as the wall, they are ready for paint. They are prepped to be brushed with paint. We did our universal remote called the MX series. This remote allows us to do everything, anything, full surround sound, satellite DVD. It has an amplifier page built into it, so I can play Zone 2, which is outside. We'll get to that in just a second. But the cool thing about this remote is, for $194, it does anything that is infrared. Anything. And my guys come in and program it. We have that service built in as well. All right, now in the master bathroom, he said, I want to be able to stand in my shower or sit in my tub and lay back and be able to watch my TV. I'm in his shower. I have a perfect view of the new Sony 32-inch LED, 240 hertz. And let me tell you, it's a full smart. Check this out. I mean, he can come in here and literally go to Amazon, Netflix, Hulu, Crackle. He can download and stream a movie, and people are going right now, how long does this guy stay in the shower? Well, it's not just about him. It's about his wife, too. They get in the bathtub, get to relaxing. You kind of want to watch, catch up on your Netflix. I don't know, but I know that standing in his shower, he has a perfect HD view of what's going on. Now, they also make an all-weather version of this in case you really stay in the shower a long time. But we connected this with his bedroom TV, which you're probably seeing a cutaway of right now, and we joined the 2 signals, meaning that he didn't have to pay 2 different bills on his satellite bill. He just has one receiver that runs 2 different areas because they're never going to watch 2 different channels between the bedroom and the bathroom since it's only 10 feet away. But isn't this cool? I mean, what a great and very comfortable environment. And look at the picture, folks. That is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. It shows everything so vivid and so clear. And look at that. Absolutely no glare. There is a window less than 4 feet away. I just can't tell you again. I'm going to say it one more time. I love it. All right, now, in the world of cameras, let me tell you, the world changes drastically in technology. And this is what it looks like through 1080p, anywhere from 1 to 5 megapixel cameras. These are 2 megapixel, and I do mean, let me tell you now, security cameras typically are 480 to 700 lines of resolution, so that's great. But I have a lot of folks go, man, I really want detail. Well, detail, let me tell you about detail. This guy generally has 9 cameras in his grid, but I want you to see the clarity of these. Look at this. This is on a 65-inch panel. Look at that. You can see the limbs moving on that bush right there. And it's crazy. Let's do it again. Look at this. Now these cameras, I'm all over myself here. These work through a Cat 6 Ethernet cable, so it's a lot less that goes into running the cables not far as time, but it's so much complexity and things that can go bad all the time. So in the world of the very best, when you're watching your 4K panel, why not have a camera that can keep up with that? Look at this again. Look at the detail. Wait a minute. Look at the detail of the back of his home. This is incredible. Now, these come in dome and they come in what they call a bullet style. This we mounted on a pole in the very back of the yard firing in so that we could see the back of the house in case there was an intruder. We also tied it into his internet system so that he could watch it from away. So he can watch it on his phone or his tablet or whatever, wherever he is that he has Wi-Fi. In the realm of cameras, folks, I've never seen detail like that. That is the best. All right, now, outside on the porch, we're going to be able to use the remote control that we have inside to control the sound outside. Now, again, I got in here even before his bed got here, okay, because we wanted to make all our mess and get it cleaned up before he had furniture in place. But it's nice, and we're going to do a Sunbright TV out here, which is the TVs that are made specifically for outdoor. They come in 48, 58, and on up from there. It's going to be really, really nice. But, you know, that's not the super exciting part yet. We'll come back to that. Right now, you're seeing a cutaway, and like I showed you inside, the cameras that we did around this home, it really allows him to see the home in a complete circle. So what that means is when he views it, he can see the corners all the way around, the doors, the windows, and everything, and they record 24/7. The hard drive that we put in there is 2 terabytes, and for you techies, you know where I'm going with it. You know, when you can get 45 or 60 days worth of information in there, when you go on vacation, you don't have to worry about, hey, what if, the what if. It's always recording. We locked away and hid the DVR. There's no possible way of worrying about that because obviously that's the evidence, but it also has the option for that in VR to upload into the cloud so you don't ever lose any of your information. So in the high-tech side of security, this stuff is changing very, very rapidly. And as you can see by the picture quality, you know, it's not just a face anymore. I know exactly who that is, or I know what kind of vehicle it was. And they even make tag cameras like we did last month where you can view from that standpoint. The warranty on this product is amazing. It has a 2-year warranty right out of the box. And what that means to you is no issues whatsoever. If you have any problems, they swap it brand new. So if you have any issues at all, they don't want you to be without. And the company we deal with at Snap AV out of North Carolina, they're an American company. And what that means, if you have a problem, American, I always say that, don't I? They'll get you product in your hands in 24 hours or less so that you won't be without security. I've told you before, you cannot put a price on security. It has saved me and saved me and saved me in my business and in my home. I love it, I love it, I love it. And one more thing, estimates are free. So we'll come out and assess and make sure that we stay in your budget, but also make sure we stay in the performance needs that you have. All right, now Yamaha has come out with a new line of mixers, and this is the time of year when everything kind of starts turning right now with CEDIA and NAMM coming up in January. It all kind of, isn't that funny to say coming up in January? It's only 6 months away. This whole year is so flown by, but all these guys start introducing new products, and the coolest thing about Yamaha is, man, do they pay attention to the desires of both sides, whether it be the church worship side of their mixers and then the, hey, I got a gig tonight side of their mixers, which is great. Now, this is the new 12U that just came out, and I love it that they now have finally gone to color processing on all of their knobs, which is good. So if you're trying to adjust on the fly, you know that the yellow is the comp side of the deal, and then that when you come down here is your gain side, and then your sliders, and they're all in different color banks. I know that sounds weird, but a lot of times when you're trying to make an adjustment on the fly, when you've got feedback or hiss, it's an instantaneous thing. It also has 24 channels of effects built into this mixer, and it's $319 for the 12, and it's $499 for the 16. That is incredible pricing considering the 16 just last year was $749. So this is really nice. Now in this world you need amplifiers, which is nice and simple. Now from here you go to Yamaha's new EMX series. Now this is the powered line of it, okay, and you're going to get anywhere between 800 and 1,000 watts, and you get anywhere from 10 to 16 channels, which is super nice. But listen now, this is on sale for $729, this is on sale for $12.99, and you have 1,000 watts of power. If you look at it from a perspective of buying a mixer and spending $500 and then buying 2 amplifiers of 500 watts each, now you're up in the $1,800-$1,900 area if you buy good quality. And this has a monitor out as well for you techies out there. It allows you to run mains and monitors off of the same mixer. So essentially you have to have this and a source input and you're done. So when you come into the Ken's Pro Sound Music Store in Macon, look at these new Yamaha mixers. You know, we carry the Yamaha, PV, and Behringer, but man, this is a home run, man. All right, now PV again. I love doing these little packages. I say I do. Gary does this. He's the mastermind behind this. But we have so many folks that say, look, I need to pick it up and get out there and do my thing and not have a whole lot of crazy expense. And I got to have big sound and not take up a lot of room. These are the new powered 10s, PVXP 10s that just came out by PV, which I love. And let me just show you this, man. Look at the construction. Crazy gain control. I love that you can do both types of inputs. It has a pass-through for a sub if you want to. It's really nice. It's got that polymer type of control piece here. Listen, 600 watts a piece is what kind of output they have. We're doing these with the steel tripods and the 10-channel mixer and cables and microphones and stands, okay? These packages are going to start at like $8.99 all the way to $14.99 depending on what size mixer and speakers you do. But listen, it comes with a 2-year warranty in-house. So when you come in, I've got this set up at the Ken's Pro Sound Music Store, and you come and kind of just get it. I got to say it, you got to get your jam on. All right, in the original Mercedes-Benz E-Classes, the station wagons and the 4-doors and all those guys out there, when they were made in the late 90s and the early 2000s, they basically had an AM/FM cassette and then a pocket and then AC controls or whatever was located. So we relocated the AC controls down on the bottom here behind this factory wood flap, which is nice. And then we modified. Now keep in mind, all these Mercedes, I mean, they had like Zebrana wood and walnut and birch and all these different types. There was 5 different types of wood, but no matter what it is, they were real wood, not plastic, right? So we have to cut into this so that we'll have a stock feel and appearance, which as a masterpiece goes, my men have done it right on the nail. Look how absolutely beautiful this has turned out. Now, getting past the masterpiece of the install, this is Pioneer's new AM/FM CD DVD touchscreen. As you can tell, look at all the icons, which are super cool. And as you see, you can also play a DVD movie as well. But with Bluetooth audio, your phone controls it. And wow, because it has a nice old school EQ where I can adjust my sound the way I want, it even has presets for those of you that go, hey, I don't know how it's supposed to sound, but I want it to have more bass or more power or whatever you want to do. Listen at the sound quality. It is insane. Crazy. And see, I can change it. Less highs, more highs. See how big a difference it makes? That is crazy. Now, that's crazy. I promise you that there's no Mercedes in the late 90s and 2000s that sounded like that. It's impossible. Now, up in here you see this is the microphone, and this allows us to speak wirelessly. This is a very big deal when you're driving down the road and don't want to have the car accident by talking on the phone or whatever. I can put my phone in my center console, which is nice for me, but this allows me to talk wirelessly in my own vehicle, and in this vehicle he'll use it the same way. End of the day, what's so cool about this is it's clean and it's seamless and it looks good, and you don't have to get rid of your car to have the modern niceties of the new car. So when you come in, just let our guys, Macon or the Warner Robins store, let them look at it with one of the custom installers so we can basically, whatever you're doing up here, they can make happen right there. All right, now Alpine, they have done so very good. This is the new Alpine. It's AM, FM, CD, USB. Here's my Mini, which is plugged into my phone right now. It has Bluetooth, so I can talk wirelessly or I can stream my music wirelessly, but it also has Sirius XM built in, which has been a huge push again for 2014. So the fact that it comes with the XM piece built into it means you don't have any silly thing hanging off your dash. It still has to have an antenna outside the vehicle, which here's the coolest thing is, almost always when you add XM to a vehicle, it's anywhere from $99 to $199 depending on the adapters. This new radio is not $299, it's on sale for $249, and you get AM, FM, CD, XM Sirius, USB, Bluetooth, Bluetooth audio, and Mini, and listen at the sound quality is crazy. That is insane. That's 2 speakers. That's 2 $99 speakers. Now listen. The reason that sounds so good is it has a 200-watt amplifier built into the radio. This is $249 with XM, and don't forget, free installation. So when you come into the Macon of the Warner Robins superstores, look at all the different radios, because what you'll find out is radios now, as far as budget, they fit all budget. I mean, you can buy an $89 CD player from Pioneer and still get free installation, or you can get one of these Mac Daddy Alpines, which 2 years ago would have cost you $500 for $249. Now, I tell you what. Now, I'm a big Peavey fan, and let me tell you, the new Peaveys, which I know it's hard to duplicate that sound through the camera and through David and all this other stuff. But they have a bunch of different series. They have a PVX, they have Impulse, they have Element, and then they have the SP called Black Widows. For you guys that know the big power of Black Widow is where it is. But listen. Most of the Black Widow stuff has always been in that $9.99 area. Now for $3.99 to $5.99 a piece, you can get a speaker that will essentially last you forever. I mean, people will come in with these speakers and they'll say, hey, I need to replace my woofer, and they're 15 years old. The Black Widow's been being made for 22 years. Now, they also carry a PVX series like this, and this is the more affordable side of their line, but it has a composite shell, which is nice. It has a handle to carry, as you can see right here. So in stuff where you're doing outdoor gigs and stuff like this, they can also be mounted on a tripod. But listen, these things are like $249 and up, and again, they are almost indestructible from a series of quality. And of course, they do subwoofers and product like that too if you just want big old bass, which I love that. Now, when you come in, I've got a whole wall of this at the Ken's Pro Sound Music Store, all the way up to the 24-inch subs, which I've showed you, which you've done so well selling these products. And when you come in, just come in and bring your music. We've also got Sonos hooked up so you can just jam, find what fits your budget. But the coolest thing about the way we operate, and I want to put this out there, is Gary and Richie, those guys, they make sure that this product is in stock at all times. What that means is it's not a .com order and wait for it to come in and maybe it got broken, maybe it didn't. When you come in, you buy it here and we service it here, and Peavey's on sale 30% off right now. Bam! All right, in the electric guitar world, it's kind of funny how seasonal guitars are. Well, acoustics will go way up, and then electrics, and then bass. It's funny how I don't know how you crazy musicians are, but y'all really do have a way of buying product. It's crazy. But here's my new fave. This is my pick of the month. This is a standard Fender Stratocaster, and it's the new satin finish. And I need to show this baby to you. Look at this thing. Look at the pickups. Absolutely, I mean, amazing. The build quality of this is top notch. They've been selling this for like around $769, and now it's on sale for $519. Fender standard Stratocaster and satin. But now listen, I keep a wall of them. I'm sure you already know that at the Ken's Pro Sound Music Store in Macon, and you can come in and play, and a lot of you guys do. Y'all come in to kind of figure out what you want. I've had a guy come in just recently and literally spend hours trying to pick the right one, and literally he kept playing $2,000 ones, and they ended up buying a $700 Stratocaster that did the job. So sometimes you may realize that what your needs and your wants may be a little different, but that's what we're here for, to help you choose the right one. I love it, man. All right, right now, at Ken's Pro Sound Music Store in Macon, we have huge sales going on right now, and of course you're fixing to see some of my picks, but keep in mind, folks, we do drums. We do acoustics, electrics, bass, amplifiers. We do huge PA gigs, packages, and it's all in here, and we service it. So I don't knock anybody and what they do in the business of what we do, but our passion excels all. All right, yes, the Sharp 80-inch is that thin. Is that crazy? This is look at the size of the screen, look at the size of the person. I mean, I'm not a big guy, but that is a big screen, okay? These TVs are typically for rooms where you're at least 10 feet back. This is an 80-inch LED smart panel, and when I mean smart, it is so cool because you can pull up the menu and instantly you can go in here and go into your internet setup, and it has this thing called Smart Central that has all your movies and all the movies and wallpapers and all that stuff built into it. But what's cool about this TV now is a lot of folks will go, man, I don't need an 80, but then you find out they're in a room that's 22 by 26. You do need an 80 because every foot you go back, everything like this, for us folks that are in my age bracket, they just get smaller and smaller and smaller, and I'm not wearing those glasses like they keep telling me. So 80-inch Sharp. Now listen, $5,000 is how much they've been for as long as I can remember. 12 to 14 months is how long they've been that. They just dropped in price, $1,500 off. 80-inch smart LED. I've got them in both stores. And guess what? They're so thin now, you can buy a $99 steel mount, and mount this thing on the wall for 99 bucks. Is that insane? That is insane. All right, now Sony has come out with a new series of TVs, the Bravia, which Bravia has always been available from Sony. But what Sony has done is they've changed the whole design, because the #1 complaint, believe it or not, for 2013 was the sound is not good enough. And if I don't want to buy a sound bar, what do I do to get better sound? Well, this new design right here, they basically have fattened them up in the bottom and thinned them up in the top, and you'll see it has a very triangle appearance on the side. I'm sure you're going to see now. What's cool about it is what? The ones that have this design, they actually have a built-in subwoofer. They have 2 speakers on the left and right corners here, and then they have a subwoofer in the center, literally a small 3 or 4 inch subwoofer depending on the size of the TV, so you get good sound. Now, how good is the sound? Now listen, again, this is just TV, but listen at the clarity that's never been available. You can hear it, you can feel it. It's finally clear. That is totally insane to me. Now, something else you need to know about this is that now that they have steady sound has come back again. What that means is, you know how the commercials get too loud, which the commercials get loud and then it doesn't, and commercials are loud like that. It actually silences that for you, which is something they did back in the 80s and 90s, if you can believe it. Now, so when you come in, look at all these. They come in the 2K, and of course, you know the 4K panels are out. When you come in, just check them out. And the coolest thing about how we decide on what TVs to put on display is, we're very, very, you know, you'll go in some of the big box stores and there's 1,000 TVs, it's impossible to make a choice. We only carry the panels that will best suit you in the long term and on the financial side. So we're very henpecky, if you want to say that, in how we choose when it comes to Sony and Sharp and Toshiba. All right, let me tell you now, this is one very large venue. The first thing we had to address in here, before we could even get into the videoing, before we get into the sound, was light. They had the old incandescent type can lights in here and had no spotlights. I mean, like literally none to offer. And so what we did is we came in and we literally took every one of the typical can lights out and we put in LEDs. Now you're probably seeing a cutaway of that. It is an amazing difference. Now listen to this now. It saved them 75% of the current draw of their power bill that they were doing before just by that, because how many light bulbs was it? Not 10, not 20, but 178 light bulbs that my group and I came in here and we took out every one that they had that was the big power draws and put these in here, and it is an amazing credit from a power standpoint, but the lighting is incredible. It doesn't have that whole mortuary feeling, you know, when you see the skin. Some of those LEDs have that bluish hue to them. I mean, it's truly, as you can see, a skin tone type thing. Now, another thing we had to address was, as you can see, this is an extremely large area. When they worship, they have as many as I have seen, 100 or 150 people here, not to mention the 1,500 plus that can fit out there. So what we did is we came in and we put in ovations, as you can see right here, right? And I'm gonna let you follow me around, David. You can see up here in the top right here, and we've got 2 on, 2 off, just to give you an idea how they look. But the idea is you're trying to be able to film, record, broadcast, and still everybody be able to see who you are when they're all the way back there. So with these ovations, these are Ovation Pros by Chauvet, and this is how it's done, folks. So guess what? Even though I'm standing right here and those things right there at full blast, I feel zero heat. And if you've ever been in front of a crowd and you had those old type spotlights on and you see that sweat, that's not because they're nervous. It's because there's 120 degrees flashing in type of their face, right? So this is how we do it. Now, in this is a very hard situation because you have to come in here with scaffolding and stuff and get up there, and that's where my men come in. They are extreme talent from the nth degree, and to be able to come in and set up this lighting the right way, and it worked right out of the gate. It was perfect for their worship that they got. So let me tell you, this is how it's done in the lighting world. Wait till you see. It's like a little teaser for the camera side of this. Full HD, I do mean. All right, the way that we do the video mixing of this, data video is the very best in the T-bar world, in my opinion. We carry them, and of course, roll in the V-series. But this particular data video is the 600 series. Now, this will accept SD or HD, which is nice because a lot of times you'll have that transition from the old to the new in the technology world. Of course, this is your PTZ controller by Telemetrics, which is nice. But as you see here, what you've got to know is these are the views that we have, right, which is nice, and we have, of course, the ability to add more if we choose to. But the coolest thing is, if you look right here, is I'm allowed to fade for my editing. I can fade to whatever I want to see. So this allows me to fade and make sure I keep everything in action. So here is a preview, and here is what is being recorded at the same time, as you can see, right? It constantly changes the cameras, so you know what's going on everywhere. By having more, we can even tie in, because they have a chapel. As you can see right here, this is their chapel. See, the idea behind this is another building that's about 100 feet from here that we actually had to cut the concrete to get all our cabling and our conduit in. But the idea behind this is they can still film, record, and they even broadcast their services throughout the entire campus, and they have an IP that allows them to broadcast elsewhere, like out of state type stuff. So with this, I have full control, but it also is kind of self-running, if you will. It constantly is running and constantly recording if that's the way they choose for it to do. So with this, it gives us a complete grid. We have all of our cameras, we have all of our control over audio, and it's all in one sound room that they can lock and load. But guess what? They don't have to be out there to be able to see everything because they have the bird's eye view in the control room. So you got to let us come out and kind of assess where you are. If you want to stay with SD or HD for you techies out there, if you want full control, if you just want it to do it all on its own. And the coolest thing about this is it's all budgets. It's all budgets. But as you can see, if it's the wow that you want, that's the wow. All right, now there are some vehicles that I missed this month because I was in and out so much in the office. And I want to let you know, we did a Harley this month. It was incredible. We did a flush mount head unit in the front, took out the factory head unit because we added 6 W3 subs into the size for you JL fanatics. I mean, they're in the saddlebags. It was an absolutely gorgeous bike. I just got snaps only, and I'm sorry about that. We took an SL500 factory radio out, which is about that big. And my gentleman back there, Dexter, he custom made a dash so that we could flush our own touchscreen because he wanted Bluetooth and he wanted iPod control and he wanted satellite radio. And the only way to get that is to get the factory radio out. When the vehicles get, 5, 6, 7 years old, they just didn't have those technologies then. So it's nice to let our guys, even when you don't think you can have them, let them design their own setup and make it all beautiful, like I'm sure you're seeing the cutaway right now. And of course, we have gotten heavy into LED lighting that moves and bounces with your sound, as you're probably seeing the cutaway of the video now. It's nice. We do subwoofer boxes underneath the seat, and then the LED will glow or whatever you want to do, and you have full control from a remote control standpoint in the front of the vehicle. So all types of vehicles, we have LED lighting of every color in the sun if you choose to do that. So just in the custom world, I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this part. It is cool what we get to do. All right, thank you so much. I appreciate you letting us get out there and do what we do. I want to say I cannot tell you how cool it was to do Christ Sanctified. That is one monster church, and it needs that type of control room for us to design so that it all can be ran without all the hustle and bustle inside the sanctuary. What a great setup. Of course, it's cool with 4K. You see what 4Ks are going. They've gotten more and more affordable, and the picture is dynamite, if I could use those words. Full clips theater that we did for that gentleman was perfect sound. It was cool that we kind of got in, even though the house was already built, we got in before the furniture, the way we could get everything cleaned up, and when he gets all his furniture, he can just sit down and enjoy time. Of course, the TV in the master bath, wow, I love it. Stand in the bathroom, stand in the shower, enjoy yourself. And then the 1080p cameras, that is where technology is going, folks. Okay, cameras are heading towards full 1080 high def. We have gotten used to seeing the picture quality that you see on flat panels now, and so we are expecting that out of our security cameras. And just to get that detail, when things do go bump in the night, you have no worries. You can see exactly to the nth of an inch what's going on, and I love that's the way it's done. Now, keep in mind, we have huge specials. I want you to follow us on Facebook. Please follow us on Facebook. See what's going on in our world there. Also, go to Instagram and go to Kens_AV, and you can see what's going on in our world there. That's my own personal side of our business that I get to show off everything we do. And then, of course, we always have no interest financing for anywhere from right now all the way up to 3 years. But most of the time, it's 12 months same as cash, all the way up to 3 years same as cash. And, of course, our music store and our audio, video, car stereo stores always have huge specials. 10 all the way up to 50% off. In every item, we have a way to make sure we fit your budget. And of course, keep in mind, Middle Georgia's only in-store service. That's a big home run. My father created that back in the 70s. We stick to our guns with that to this day. We don't carry a brand that we cannot service right here. I'll leave you with 1 Thessalonians 5:16, where God commands, always be joyful. Always be joyful. He's saying, look, I got it. Just let me be God, and you be joyful that I am. I love that about our Lord. You got to come see us at Ken's in Macon.
Ken, service what we sell. Middle Georgia's only in-store personnel.